Hello and welcome back to TUTV. I'm Bruce Bigler.
And I'm Andres Lynch. We have an exciting show this week. The president of TU Theater Union joins us later for an exclusive interview.
But first, let's get a short recap of this week's major headlines. Yesterday, significant police activity was present at Will Rogers High School. We go to TUTV's Carter Reed for this breaking news report.
At 12:25 p.m. today, TU students received a message warning of police activity at the nearby Will Rogers High School. Upon arriving at the high school, we spoke with a district official who told us that the threat was perceived as being from a suspicious vehicle in the nearby neighborhood towards an individual student at the high school. Speaking to a teacher inside, we were told that while teachers do not have much information, it was believed that this threat originated from a parent. Helicopters have been circling overhead for the past hour or so. Those have now departed, as well as the bulk of the police presence in the area. Things seem to be winding down and the threat now seems to be over. For TUTV, I'm Carter Reed.
TUTV reached out to the Tulsa Police Communication Department for more information, but has not yet received a response.
On Tuesday, April 7th, many were anxiously awaiting 8 p.m. Eastern Time to see if President Donald Trump would go through with his plan to strike a bridge and a power plant in Iran. On Easter Sunday, he had used Truth Social to make threats, as well as having stated that, quote, "a whole civilization will die tonight," unquote, less than 3 hours before the time of the strike. However, the president ended up suspending the attacks for 2 weeks in an attempt to negotiate a ceasefire with Iran. The terms of the ceasefire included a halt on Israeli strikes against Lebanon, which was violated hours after the agreement was made, prompting Iran to keep the strait closed. The United States started a blockade of the strait yesterday in an attempt to prevent Iranian ships from passing through and to pressure the country into reopening it.
NASA's Artemis II mission landed in the Pacific Ocean on Friday, April 10th, after 10 days in space. The spacecraft landed near the California coast, and Chief Hospital Corpsman Laddie Aldridge, a Navy sailor from Cushing, Oklahoma, was the first person to pick up the crew. Aldridge was joined by Corpsman Vlad Link and Steve Kapala.
TU Theater Union, a student-run club dedicated to bringing theater back to TU, held their very first musical this weekend, the 25th Annual Putnam County Spelling Bee. TUTV reporter Angelica Ortiz brings us behind the scenes with sights and sounds from the LPC.
This past weekend on April 11th and 12th, the TU Theater Union hosted their first ever spring musical, the 25th Annual Putnam County Spelling Bee, inside the Gusman Concert Hall located at the Lorton Performing Arts Center. Tickets were free for TU students and faculty and $5 for general admission.
It being the first one, I was actually really scared that we weren't going to have a very big audience, and I was like checking in every once in a while behind stage, but once I was out there, I saw we actually got a really nice crowd, and they're reacting really well, which is awesome and also like kind of scary at the same time because we haven't really been able to react and go with the laughing from the crowd yet.
Just a holiday.
Give it back! It's mine! It's not! You guys are so mean. Oh my god.
For TUTV, I am Angelica Ortiz.
The University of Tulsa is home to all sorts of research projects, including one attempting to use robotic limbs to accurately simulate human movement. TUTV's Andres Lynch volunteered to help with this study and brings us more information about what they're doing. Still to come, info on campus events.
But first, a very special interview with one of the most influential students on campus.
Hello everyone and welcome back to SGA Weekly. I'm your host, Hendrik Dubois. Let's get into it. This past Tuesday, the student organization, The Faithful Observer, a controversial student journal that had been sent back to committee in a previous meeting, came back to SGA to try and get their charter. I spoke with the org representatives and asked them about their organization. Here's what they had to say.
We're a student journal, specifically Christian in nature, and we just try to publish things that are related to the faith and get people discussing their various ideas and interests in there.
Back in the Senate, there was lively debate over whether this club should be chartered or not. Those against chartering argued about alleged homophobic remarks found on the website and whether or not they would make a, quote, positive impact on campus, while those in favor argued that the students had free speech and that it would be unfair for the Student Government Association to determine who can be chartered based on speech. The Faithful Observer ended up getting its charter. After a spirited debate, the Senate standing rules were also updated, with a new motion being added. Colloquially referred to as motion for a vibe check, this should allow the Senate to be more efficient by reducing the amount of circular discussion. Another bill was passed updating how club charters get revoked, which will go into effect next semester. That's all for now, folks. Tune in next week for next week's SGA update. For TUTV.
Welcome back to your TUTV. Thank you for joining us for our interview today. I'm Zach Edwards, and today we have with us returning interviewee Jadyn Fording. Tell me a little bit about yourself, Jadyn.
Yeah, I am a junior music major here at the University of Tulsa, and I am also the president and one of the co-founders of TU Theater Union.
Oh, awesome. So, being TU Theater Union just wrapped up their musical. Tell me a little bit about that. How'd the production go?
Yeah, so I was the director for the musical. Something that I've been interested in for a long time has been theater direction since high school, and I want to go on to get an MFA in directing. And so when we started TU Theater Union back in 2023, we knew that our eventual goal would be to do a full-scale musical, and so we've done 2 Greek tragedies in the fall, and so this spring, we had our goal set by spring 2026. We do a full-scale musical, and we did.
Yeah, that's awesome. What were some of the challenges you guys faced? Like, in what way is a musical different than just a normal play that you put on?
Oh, yeah. Well, the biggest thing is music, right? And we kind of dipped our toes in the water with that for Oedipus the King, our last Greek tragedy. I and another student, Alex Dupree, both wrote some music for that, which was performed on stage as part of the play, but you know, having a musical with songs and dance as well is a whole other complicating element, as well as this show is also about twice as long as the Greek tragedies as we've done, and the musical that we did, the 25th annual Putnam County Spelling Bee, has a very large improvisational element as well.
Totally. What do you think is like the biggest way the TU Theater Union has grown in the past year? Where you've started from at the beginning of the year to where you are now?
Oh yeah, definitely in the scale of our productions, I think. I think we've been pretty good about keeping our steady kind of like keystone events that we do, our karaoke nights, our improv nights. But after we did our first fall production, Medea by Euripides, and then Sophocles' Oedipus the King last fall, we've just seen exponential growth of how big our productions can be, especially in student involvement. Medea had about 14 cast members, and then Oedipus had 29, and then the musical had 15 people in it, which was large for this show, which the show normally has about 8 people in it. So we were able to about double the cast size, as well as our crew. We had an amazing pit orchestra, just absolutely exploding in what we've been able to do.
I love to hear it. Well, tell me a little bit how you want the TU Theater Union to grow past like you graduating.
Yeah, that's definitely something that I'm starting to get scared of now as a junior. So I have one more year here, and then my plan is that I'll stay in Tulsa actually for a couple of years and work in theater around town. And part of that is because of the connections that I've made here, all of the wonderful theater people in this town, but also I do want to kind of keep eyes on everything going on here and help out in as many ways that I can. It's really important to me that Theater Union survives past the original founders' graduation. a lot of us are getting to be juniors and seniors this year. And so we're really working hard on creating our transition documents and structuring the club in a way where it can survive both on the personnel, so we have enough people with the proper experience, but as well financially. So putting together more robust fundraising efforts and really working hard to get the word out throughout Tulsa.
Well, it's clear that you care so much about the theater union, so much so that you guys got an award this year at the Org Awards. Tell me a little bit about that before we go. Yeah,
that was really exciting. So we got Best Individual Event for our production of Oedipus the King, which was, for me, really shocking. I thought the production went so well, and so it was really nice to see theater especially be represented in that way, especially knowing some of the events that happened at TU that are so huge, Lunar New Year and all of that stuff. It was really exciting to see theater recognized in that way.
I love it. It's amazing to hear about such a big year for you guys and how much you were able to accomplish. So here's to many more.
Thank you.
Thank you for being here, Jadyn, and thank you for joining us on our interview segment for the week.
Welcome back to the desk. I'm Bruce Bigler.
And I'm Luke Montemayor.
Incredible interview from the president of TU Theater Union. I heard you made it out to the show this weekend, Luke?
Absolutely, yeah. And the fun thing was I've actually seen Putnam County perform before, so this was a really great experience getting to see the differences. And I honestly think that the choices that they made, the costuming, the stage design was all really good. In addition to just featuring really, really incredible performers, I think we have a lot of really talented actors at TU, and that was fully on display for Putnam County.
Rain Kane, so glad to hear it. Well, in this segment, we have a weather segment as well as the latest in campus news and events. So let's jump right in. On Wednesday, April 8th, the Student Government Association honored the outstanding organizations and leaders in the annual Student Org Awards ceremony. Nominees from all variety of SGA charter organizations dressed up for the celebration in the Student Union Great Hall. Reformed University Fellowship won the award for Outstanding Executive Team, while the Chaos was named New Organization of the Year. For the first time ever, SGA honored an individual student leader who demonstrated excellence, inclusion, and outstanding leadership across multiple organizations. The winner, Junior and TU Theater Union President Jadyn Fording. However, the night's biggest prize went to Psychology Club, which won Organization of the Year for its widespread engagement and impact on the entire student body.
I'm really proud of all of our tabling events that we've had. We've really increased community here on campus, especially with psychology students. We've been everywhere. We've been passing out mental health notes. We've been asking people questions about psychology. I'm really looking forward to just seeing how it grows. I think we are going to have a lot of really amazing on our exec team next year, and I'm really hopeful.
Other winners included TU's Oedipus the King for Individual Event of the Year and Vietnamese Student Association for community engagement through their movie nights and Lunar New Year collaborations. Congratulations to all outstanding student organizations and their members.
Last week, TU Campus Services sent an email to students about the theft of several scooters in campus locations, including near Kendall Hall, Lorton Village Apartments, the Case Athletic Complex, and Fisher West Suites. Campus Services encouraged students to report theft by calling UTulsa Security and to use a secure U-shaped lock for bikes, storing them in the proper location. Electric scooter owners, remember to store your scooters on the, quote, designated concrete pads as intended, and call UTulsa at 918-631-5555 to report any theft.
Last Saturday, Best Buddies Oklahoma hosted their yearly Friendship Walk in the Reynolds Center. This walk is done in conjunction with a fundraiser for their community work, supporting those with intellectual and developmental disabilities, IDD for short. People were arriving by 8:30 to eat breakfast and connect with others over various arts and crafts. The opening ceremony began at 10 a.m. and included speeches from the lead program manager, Melanie Pleasant, and Best Buddies members Sarah Hudson, Elliot Bennett, and Maggie Bennett. It featured performances from the Green Country Shining Stars, a special needs cheerleading group, and the Bixby High Cheer Squad. TU's Palm Squad, the Bixby High football team, Disney performers, Darth Vader, and Gus T all made special appearances. While Best Buddies Oklahoma has yet to reach their fundraising goal, the event received high turnout. Members are excited to continue growing the program and supporting those with IDDs.
The Theater Union isn't the only organization on campus hosting incredible student-led performances. TUTV's Andres Lynch brings us a spotlight on TU's Ensemble Club.
This is the TU Ensemble Club. Throughout the year, they have been playing events on and off campus, and this weekend, they will be playing a concert. Director Ethan Wesley is here to discuss the group's next concert.
So Ensemble Club is a club that allows kind of an extracurricular for musicians to come together and play different sized ensembles. So it started last year as Hardesty Orchestra, because we used to meet in the study rooms of Hardesty, but we've since graduated to meeting in the LPC. The music that we play differs depending on the ensemble that we're currently working with. So throughout the year, we kind of experiment with different size ensembles. Earlier this year, we played some Baroque pieces by Bach and Telemann. But later this year, for our concert coming up on the 18th of April, we're playing Saint-Saëns' Third Symphony for orchestra and organ, and an arrangement of the Lord of the Rings soundtrack for orchestra.
Don't miss the Ensemble Club's next performance, which is on Saturday, April 18th at 3:30 p.m. in Sharp Chapel. For TUTV, I'm Andres Lynch.
We hope you're not tired of hearing about performances, because we've got one more for you this week. TUTV's Maddie Blackett brings us inside last week's string quartet performance here on campus.
This last Wednesday on April 8th, TU was joined by the David B. Waters Quartet in Lorton Performance Center's Meinig Hall with a concert free to the public. They played pieces from famous composers like Mendelssohn and Bruch. This quartet is made up of Tulsa Symphony Orchestra members. After the intermission, they were joined by more members and TU's very own Mitchell Coleman. Mitchell is the concertmaster for TU's orchestra. I got to speak with him on how it felt to be a part of this experience, and here's what he had to say.
Playing with the David B. Waters String Quartet was a wonderful opportunity. Being surrounded by 7 professionals and people that I look up to was both fun and a great learning experience. A great opportunity for me to improve my skills as a musician by listening to players who know better than I do. It was very fun to have that opportunity.
This ensemble is no stranger to partnering with TU. In fact, you can catch them performing with TU's orchestra this May. For TUTV, I'm Maddie Blackett.
Wow, it seems like there's a lot of exciting performances on campus and a lot of good work. I understand that you've worked some with the Best Buddies program. Can you describe what that's like a little bit?
Yeah, for sure. So Best Buddies is a really cool program that partners individuals in college with individuals with developmental disabilities. And so the Friendship Walk was just a time to celebrate inclusion and celebrate the work that Best Buddies has done over the year. So I'm treasurer for Best Buddies and got to play a part in raising funds for that event. Getting all sorts of donations from around town. I was shocked by how many businesses and how many individuals were willing to support Best Buddies for really no benefit to themselves besides doing good. So I unfortunately did have to take the LSAT, the law entrance exam, during the Best Buddies Friendship Walk, but it was an incredible time, and from everything that I heard from my buddy, it was just awesome and a great showing of student organizations here on campus. So next up, we have our weekly music minute.
But first, Carter Reed brings our weekly weather report. We'll be back after this.
Let's go. Welcome back to your TUTV weather. We expect to see thunderstorms moving through the Tulsa metro as we move past sunset this evening. These storms do have a chance to produce all hazards, including large hail, strong winds, and a tornado or two. TU campus is not under a tornado watch at this time, but we do sit on the far eastern extent of a tornado watch currently covering central Oklahoma. I would advise all of our viewers just to remain aware of the weather situation as we move through the nighttime hours. Scattered showers and storms will continue through the night and into Wednesday morning. These pockets of precipitation will continue with the highest chances of rain occurring after 4 p.m. and lasting throughout the night. Thursday morning, we'll see a chance of thunderstorms before 7 a.m. before clear skies and highs in the mid-80s close out the day. Friday will have a mostly sunny skies with a high of 82. A line of severe storms is expected to move through the area Friday evening, and as you see here, the SPC has already issued a 30% chance of severe weather. That does include the Tulsa metro area. Saturday, we'll see temps dropping back into the mid-60s with a 20% chance of scattered showers throughout the day. Clear skies and temps around 70 degrees will persist as we close out the weekend to move into next week. With that, I'm Carter Reed, and this is your TUTV weather.
Well, I love to hear about the sun coming back. I don't know about you, but rain, go away. I'm ready for like good summer weather. How about you?
Yeah, for sure. I'm really excited for the summer, actually. Can't wait.
Love it. Well, welcome back to TUTV. I'm Zach Edwards.
And I'm Angelica Ortiz. We're coming up to on our Music Minute to close out the show.
But first, let's take a look at more campus events. Last week was Mabee Week, organized by TU's resident assistants. Daily events brought Lottie, John, and even Hardesty students together, from tie-dyeing Res Hall shirts to the inflatables of Monday's Mabee Tycoon. On Wednesday, Hall residents got back at the RAs with a creative prank war. However, the main feature was the John Mabee Toilet Bowl on Saturday, April 11th. TUTV's Michael Searles brings us a report from the sidelines.
Skelly Field was alight on Saturday for the 62nd annual John Mabee Toilet Bowl. Students played a nearly 2-hour game of flag football, where Team Alumni in Blue faced off against Team Residents in Red. Other John Mabee residents and RAs served as referees, while William Burron provided play-by-play commentary. The tough contest began with a slow start, as Team Resident took an early lead. After halftime, however, Team Alumni began their comeback with an inspiring touchdown by Tony Nemo. MVP of the afternoon was Johnny Lever, who made several key passes and a 50-yard interception to build up a sizable lead. Despite strong defensive play from the likes of Danny Martinez, Team Alumni remained unstoppable in the second half, finishing 56-32 for their 4th consecutive Toilet Bowl victory.
It was a tough game all the way through. There was definitely some mistakes made by this team. It's a very young team. I threw an interception in the red zone that was really costly.
The second half, I don't think the effort was there. I think we put a little more effort in. Honestly, it was a very winnable game. Next year, we have a little more experience. Come back and win it.
From prank wars to football battles, none of the Mabee Week events would have been possible without the support and dedication of the Res Life team.
Our coordinator, Mr. Ray, Maddie, and the higher-ups for allowing us to do that, because I know it's, again, messing up the lobby. It can be frustrating, especially when you have tours and other stuff. It can be an inconvenience, so we're really grateful for that, for the collaboration.
Also, our Hall Gov members really put in a great amount of effort, so all thanks to them.
This year, Suhani and Weza sought to combine John and Lottie Hall traditions while still keeping things fresh.
Trying to make this as memorable as possible, trying not just to keep the same traditions, but also add our own flavor and our own touch to it.
Events like Mabee Week can help build a community, especially for new students adapting to their new campus home.
That's what we want to create here. Good vibes, an environment for residents to feel welcome, feel like they're part of our community, feel like they're part of a family.
After the game, both teams returned to John Mabee to cool off with free barbecue and begin the wait for next year's matchup. For TUTV, I'm Michael Searles.
This evening, starting at 6 p.m., the third multi-club mashup is being held in Great Hall A of the Student Union. This student-led event aims to bring the student body together with various club-led activities, games, giveaways, and free food. Tomorrow, Counseling and Psychological Services, or CAPS, is inviting students to take their mental health first aid course from 9 a.m. to 4 p.m. This course teaches students how to help others who are experiencing mental health or substance use-related crises, as well as how to identify the risk factors and warning signs for such concerns. Prior registration is required, so make sure to email caps@utulsa.edu if you wish to attend.
McFarland Library is hosting their monthly craft and coffee session tomorrow in room M280 from 2 to 4 p.m. While McFarland will provide coffee, vibes, and some supplies for crafts, students are also encouraged to bring their own crafting projects. This Thursday, UTulsa Jazz Band invites you to their concert in Lorton Performance Center's Gusman Hall. This concert is from 7:30 to 9 p.m. and is free to the public. The following day, the School of Music is hosting an opera concert in Meinig Recital Hall from 7:30 to 9 p.m. and is also free. Then on Monday, TU's premier wind and percussion group and wind ensemble is having a free concert in Gussman Concert Hall from 7:30 to 9 p.m.
This Friday, Tulsa Esports is having their final Super Smash Bros. Tournament of the semester. This event is set to be a double elimination tournament starting at 6:30 p.m. and running until 10 p.m. in the gaming lounge. Participants are encouraged to familiarize themselves with the rules before the event, which are linked on the Tulsa events calendar.
This week, Andre Slinch takes us on another exciting adventure to review food around Tulsa. This time, he tackles the Big Arch.
Recently, McDonald's released its new Big Arch Burger, a new take on the Big Mac. Here's our review.
First off, we just gotta say this is the bougiest McDonald's I've ever been to. They had like a couch. I ain't never seen a couch in a McDonald's, guys, and pretty solid tasting music. The big arch in the room is the Big Arch Burger. Honestly, I was surprised. I mean, it's been a while since I've been to McDonald's, but I've never really had high opinions of their burgers. The Big Arch, that was actually pretty solid. The sauce, that was definitely new. It was kind of like a mustardy kind of thing. Went really well with the pickles. Flavor-wise, it was very, very well designed, honestly. It did taste very good. So, I'm just gonna say, I'll give it maybe about an 8 out of 10. It could be a little better, but for McDonald's, it's pretty peak. Definitely better than a Big Mac.
Okay, so I have some mixed opinions. It was very ambitious because it changed, the burger formula. Many burgers use like American cheese, and I know other burgers don't. But switching that up, it was not a bad thing, and it wasn't bad. When I think about that compared to, just regular onions on a burger, and on a Big Mac with American cheese, honestly, I think the Big Mac is a little more appealing. I think for the Big Arch Burger, I'm gonna have to go with maybe a 6 out of 10.
Ooh.
I just think the Big Mac is better. I have to say the sauce on the Big Mac is better too.
For TUTV, I'm Andres Lynch.
Well, we here in the studio had some technical difficulties earlier in the show with a package about a robotic arm, but we've got it ready for you now. TUTV's Andres Lynch volunteered to help with a research study.
The TU Group for Robotics and Autonomy has been performing research a couple of miles off campus. Associate Professors Roger Kollock and Joshua Schultz are in charge of this research study that tracks the muscle movements of healthy adults in order to calibrate robots that can be used to help the elderly stand up without assistance. The research uses tools such as EMGs, which are small sensors placed on your legs in order to track your muscle movements. These muscle movements are used to calibrate the robot by giving it a measurement of when to activate. As you can see, I participated in this research study last week, and I not only enjoyed getting to contribute towards such a good cause, I also really enjoyed seeing all the technology. I recommend anyone who has 2 hours of spare time to get involved, which you can do by emailing Professor Kollock at roger-kollock@utulsa.edu. Research runs through October 13th. For TUTV, I'm Andres Lynch.
Sounds like Andrea's friend had a rather sublime experience with a Big Arch. I'm not sure what happens to make Andreas disagree, but don't push the power button on your remote just yet, because our music minute is up next. Let's get right back to it.
Welcome. My name is not Anderson Bell, but I am in fact doing the Music Minute. Today's album, 40 Ounces to Freedom. Now, this is the debut album for Sublime. It was released in 1992. It blends ska, reggae, punk, and hip-hop to establish the very unique Sublime sound. The album opens with Waiting for My Ruka, which features about 15 seconds of a dog loudly barking before breaking into the song, which features a simple drum beat and frontman Bradley Noble's vocals. Some standouts in the album include the titular 40 Ounces to Freedom, Smoke Two Joints, Don't Push, Bad Fish, Right Back, and What Happened. Now, while it didn't see much commercial success upon release, it did go huge after the release of Sublime's third album, the self-titled Sublime, which was released just 2 months after the death of the frontman Bradley Nowell. Overall, it's absolutely an excellent introduction to Sublime, which has come to be one of my favorite bands as of late. I give it a solid 8.4 out of 10. Thank you for joining me on my Music Minute.
Wow, it sounds like Sublime has a unique mix of genres. Do you have a favorite genre that you like to listen to?
I would say my favorite genre of music, at least as of late, has been jazz music. I don't know why it's been calling to me so much. It might have to do with something with like me playing big band jazz music back in high school, but just something about that swing has like got a hold on me recently. I don't know what it is. But if I had to go for one outside of that, like an easy go, it would be like 90s rock, like 90s like dad rock. It's not hard. I love it so much.
Pretty good pick.
You never miss with it.
For sure.
Well, thank you for tuning into TUTV this week.
Next week will be our final regular show of the semester, and April 28th we'll have a very special extra long show.
So make sure you come back next week and the week after to see how we conclude this season of TUTV. Thank you.